Hello, everyone. We're going to start today by talking about how to write the SAQ, the short answer question. I'm going to specifically address how to do this for AP US history. However, there are a lot of similarities to AP European history and AP world history. I'm going to try to make this quick and easy because this really is one of the easier parts of the exam, so I don't want to overcomplicate things. Quick note, I do grade the AP exams and I have graded the short answer questions. So I've really graded thousands and thousands of these, and hopefully I can just make this real easy for you to know what you have to do in order to pass this section of the exam. So what is the SAQ, the short answer question? It's the second part of the APUSH exam and accounts for 20% of the total score. You'll have 40 minutes to complete this section, which averages out to about 13 minutes per question. You're going to be given 4 questions, but you have to answer 3. So the first one is required, and it will run anywhere from 1754 to 1980, which is the period 2 to period 8. And that's going to be a secondary source, usually something written by historians. That's a very common type of stimulus for this question. Question number 2 will be a primary source. So this one will vary. Sometimes it's text, sometimes it's an image. And again, it's just going to run from period 2 to period 8. Question 3, there's going to be no stimulus and will run from 1491 to 1877, which is period 1 to period 5. And then option 4 is going to run from period 6 to period 9. So period 1 and period 9 are not ever going to be explicitly addressed on their own. So question number 3 may have period 1 in it, but it's not going to solely be about that period. It would run into period 2 as well. So let's talk about these types of questions just a little bit more. Here's an example. This is one of the 2018 questions. And so this would be question 1. It was a secondary source. This is a really common thing that happens where you're given 2 differing opinions by historians. So this is kind of a historiography type of question where you're going to be asked to interpret their positions. So this is using the historical thinking skill of interpretation, and also a lot of times it does comparison where you're asking to find a similarity and a difference between their interpretation, and then provide evidence for one of the authors. Another type of question is a primary source. Again, this is from the 2018 exam. And so this is where you're going to be looking at an image, or again, it could be a text, but it's something written in the time period where you have to analyze it and provide evidence for what that author has written or the cartoonist has drawn. And then last, some people love these, some people hate them. Questions 3 and 4 are going to be no stimulus. So there's nothing there to really jog your mind. It really is based on the knowledge you can draw straight from your brain. And these are typically going to address either comparison or causation. So similarities and differences, or cause and effect. So these are the types of questions that you'll see. They may vary slightly, but this is how it is formatted on the AP exam. Couple notes. This is the College Board description of scoring. So each point is earned independently. As you can see, each question has an A, B, and C, and you do not have to earn A in order to receive the point for B. So you could leave A completely blank, answer B and C, and get a 2 out of 3 on that question. So it's really important, if you feel like you know something but not all, don't just skip the question. Really address each part that you can. Accuracy and clarity are important, but then as an AP reader, I would say students lose points when they don't describe enough. They just list the evidence, they mention a term, but they don't describe it enough to show that you know what it means. So please, please make sure that yes, you're providing the evidence, but you take the time to add another sentence where you're describing it and how it answers the question. So here are my top 3 SAQ writing tips. Number 1, use evidence. There are so many times where I'm grading essays and I see that a student probably knows it, but they forgot to mention something specific. So use the proper names of persons, places, and events as much as you can, but don't just name drop. Make sure to explain it. And be as accurate as you can, or be as specific as you can while still being accurate. So, for example, if you know that there's, let's just say the Compromise of 1850, and you can't quite remember the year, you don't know if it's 1849 or 1851, you don't want to say the Compromise of 1851. Instead, you would want to just broaden it a little bit. You could say, the major legislative compromise in the mid 1800s. You're still being specific and accurate. And if you still have to broaden it further, you can say, the compromise by Henry Clay in the 1800s. So try to add as much specificity as you can, but don't be inaccurate. Second most important tip, you can answer the questions in any order. If you really know question number 3, start with that one. Give it your best shot while it's freshest in your mind, and then go to question 1 and then go to question 2. It doesn't matter what order you write them in. You just need to make sure that you spend time on the ones that you know the best. If question 1 you don't know and you spend 20 minutes trying to write something out, all of a sudden you just took away time from the questions where you are going to earn the points. And then my third is to be direct. I see a lot of students wasting time. They write, they start with letter A for an answer and it takes up, half the page or more, and they've kind of danced around it and given these really flowery descriptions. And then all of a sudden B and C only have this much room to write. So keep it 2 to 4 sentences. I think that most short answer questions can earn full credit in 6 sentences. One sentence of evidence for each part and 1 sentence of explanation for each part. That should be enough to get you the points if you are direct, use evidence, and explain it. Okay, other suggestions and notes. It doesn't matter if you label or not. So it could be one big paragraph. As you can see here, this is an image of the box you have for each question. You can't write outside of the box. You can't write on more than one page. This is it. This is the space that you're given. So you can write it in paragraph form, or you can label it A, B, and C. Again, you could write it in any order. So you could write C, B, A, whatever order you want. If you are going to label it, do your best to label it accurately. I've definitely read ones that letter B is labeled as A and flip-flopped, and it just makes it a little more confusing for the reader. It's not going to take away points most of the time, but if you label, just make sure you do it correctly. The readers do understand it's a first draft, so it's okay to make some mistakes, just don't make big historical errors. And you don't need a thesis. You must use complete sentences, not bullet points. I address that. And make sure you answer all parts of the question. It's surprising how sometimes the bar is so low to earn a point, and just putting something down, even if you think it's not going to make sense, it doesn't hurt you to try. So last thing, when you're done writing, check your answers. Do you have specific evidence? Did you explain your evidence? Did you fully answer the question? And if you labeled, did you label properly? So hopefully that's it. The best thing you can do to prepare for short answer questions is to know your evidence. So I've got a playlist you can check out on very important terms. That's a great place to start reviewing the terms that are essential for the AP content, and to just practice, to watch videos on example short answer questions, to look at the College Board resources. Those are the best ways to prepare so that you feel comfortable with the types of questions that are going to be asked. I hope that was helpful. Please like and subscribe if it was, and check out my next videos for more specific SAQ practice questions for each period.